Every week on this segment, IRL Esports, we try to feature a different personality. Just kidding. In the scene, and this time we have a representative from what I mentioned before, the FGC, also known as the fighting game community, in the house to help us share more and learn more about the tournament scene and ways to get involved.
He's from a group called Body Count Fighting, and they have an online tournament later today at mixer.com/bodycountfighting. Aptly named. So let's hear from him about what his group and tournaments are about.
Cheyenne, welcome to the show.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
How you doing?
Hey, good.
Good to
How are
have you.
Thanks for having me.
Doing great.
We're always fans of FGC guys
Yeah,
on here.
what? I mean, again, that's my roots.
It's your roots.
That's my roots.
Feels like you should start.
Roots-ish, you know, for a few years at least.
Sure.
It translates to sports games very well. It's that competition, you know?
You guys have, and listen, there's a lot of smack talking going on in the Gears and the Halo and the every esports scene, but it's hard to outdo some solid smack talk coming from the FGC.
Pop-offs and,
that's pop-offs are just
pop-offs and FGC stuff is absolutely
it's just
wonderful.
Great entertainment is all I'm gonna say.
Oh, 100%. That's something we try to bring out in Body Count Fighting, the smack talk.
Nice. Okay, well, Cheyenne, let's actually talk to you a little bit about you. Tell us who you are, a little about yourself, and a little bit about Body Count Gaming.
Hey, so Body Count Fighting, what I am is I'm a producer on the show, also host/commentator. What we do at Body Count Fighting is we basically give players the opportunity, as you mentioned, to trash talk, right? Yeah. So we have them come in, they shoot promos. Similar to CEO, they compete in a ring, but they also have entrances. And instead of it being a tournament, what we do is we have a night of exhibition matches, similar to what you would see in UFC or WWE. Like we curate some of the best players, they come against each other, and some even compete for a nice, big, shiny belt, which I should have brought with me.
Oh, what are you doing? That's okay. Well, so we actually mentioned it earlier that there is going to be a tournament, and this is part of a series. Can you tell us a little bit about what's happening later today and the series overall?
Yes, so the Body Count Fighting online series is what we do is it's a free-to-enter tournament, smash.gg/BCFighting. As a matter of fact, I'm getting the belt right here because they heard me.
There we go.
There we go.
You know how to hold it, too. What a delight.
Smash.gg/BCFighting. Free to enter online tournament with a $250 prize pool each tournament. And we're going on into phase 2 of the year. Phase 1 is very similar. So it's so each month we do 4 different games. Tonight is going to be Street Fighter 5. Next week is going to be Dragon Ball FighterZ, then Tekken 7, and then Injustice 2. So what it is top 16 are going to get points that are going to accumulate throughout the year. So we're having a bunch of different phases, and the top 8 throughout all of them will be invited to a Body Count Fighting online tournament, and the winner of that will participate in one of our events and hopefully earn a chance to compete for this title.
Man.
And that belt.
That belt is no joke. Look at that
nice and
thing.
heavy.
Yeah. So, I mean, in terms of storyline, what should people be expecting to see from watching these tournaments? Obviously, we've mentioned Smack Talk. Obviously, FGC, you expect a certain number of things. What are you excited to see with this series and specifically at mixer.com/BCFighting this evening?
Yeah, so one of the things that makes this tournament so exciting, especially for me, is we give those players that aren't sponsored, that are from all over the US, that they have an opportunity to come out to LA and travel that don't really get the opportunity as often. So to give you an example, we have a player who's pretty well known named Eric C, but he's not sponsored. And we flew him out for his first trip to LA, and he's been on 3 Body Count Fightings. So we allow him the opportunity to travel, to put himself out there and show who he is as a player, and to kind of, put himself out there to hopefully get sponsorships. And what was fun about him is that he plays a character, Fong, who not a lot of players play. Like you see a lot of Nakalis, Akumas, and all that good, and Giles or Camis, but Fong you don't see much of, and he put on a great show for us coming in when he was competing.
Now, you said you were in LA, yeah?
Yeah.
I've seen the weather. Why are you in a sweatshirt?
He was talking about that.
So I'm in a sweatshirt because as you guys were mentioning earlier on the show, CEO was this past weekend, and all my BCF shirts were dirty. So this is
okay. All right.
I'd stay
I
out
had to ask. I was sitting there, I was like, wait a minute, it's like the buck out there. All right. Now, anyway, your next main event is coming up August 11th. What is this event, and why should we tune in?
So, like I mentioned, it's a night of exhibition matches. So we kind of play on to storylines that are already happening in the FGC and try and bring them over. Like last time we had Guilty versus Low Tier God, which is a story that came on from E-League. So we continue that coming on through.
Yeah. The Street Fighter guys.
Yeah, exactly. When they did the Challenger House.
Yeah.
See,
good. I see things.
Names are hard, but E-League is easy.
Well, yeah. Well, didn't they play against? I'm trying to remember who was the oh my gosh, who was the celebrity? Oh my gosh.
It was Lupe.
Was it Lupe Fiasco?
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
It was Lupe.
Goodness. Okay, so here's the question. Oh yeah, sorry. Keep talking.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So as we mentioned, it's a very produced event where we bring, like you said, bring some of the best players that compete in the ring. We have a cosplayer who's kind of like the ring person who lets them in and out the ring, keeps the crowd entertained. We have giveaways. If you're in the Burbank area, it's free food, free to enter. So come hang out. And like I said, some players compete for this title belt. And also what we've included since the last event is now they're playing for $2,500. So if you win that one match, which is a first to 5, you walk away with this belt and the money. So that's something that players are striving for, and also our champions are trying to keep.
If I'll say it once, I'll say it 1,000 times. LA is becoming pretty much the esports mecca, and I'm both delighted and saddened by that because we don't live there. But also, we're so close. So you mentioned that people can enter, that you can actually, if you are good enough, you can find your way to that belt and that prize pool. If someone want to get involved in general, how do they go about doing that?
So to get involved in the tournament or the FGC in general?
I mean, let's run the gambit, Cheyenne. Let's go for it. Either one.
All right, so to get in our tournament, like I said, smash.gg/BCF. You'll be able to sign up there, free to enter. And like I said, the first one's tonight. Next week is Dragon Ball, then Tekken 7, and then Injustice. It's going to be every week for the next 4 weeks. Sign up tonight. It's free. Now, if you want to get an FGC, it's very easy. Just show up to your local tournaments. FGC is very broad and very welcoming. So if you just show up, and even if you get bodied, let's say you go home 0-2, ask the person, what can you do to do better? And there's a good chance they'll help you out. Like, that's the great thing about the fighting game community. It's so open, so welcoming. You go in, you get bodied a couple of times, then you start winning, and you get noticeable, and then, you're just ingrained in it. It's so awesome.
I will say that it's nice. So FGC is, I think, to my knowledge, the only real esports scene that has the word community right there.
It doesn't even have to be right there. It's just it's
definitely a part of it. But it's like that's the fighting game community. The fact that it's that everybody knows it colloquially as FGC. There's that community is definitely a huge part.
I think because it took off before really esports as a whole took off.
Before they brought in the lights.
I mean, he talks about finding your local tournaments. It's less even about the tournaments. I know at GameWorks just over in Seattle. Every Tuesday night they have a fighting game group that gets together and orders a bunch of food and brings all their consoles and screens and just goes at it.
Get those fighting sticks out.
And then, of course, out of that comes the competition and the smack talk, and we see things like this groups brought up. So, yeah, it's all good. All right, I got one more for you. Now, if you could tell the skeptical folks out there that don't know a lick about esports or competitive gaming, why they should get into it, like, what do you tell people? What do you tell the people that have no idea what you're doing?
Well, I tell them when it comes to fighting games, especially like I mentioned, it's such an easy to enter thing. It's very easy to also watch and also take in, because when it comes to fighting games, it's just 1v1. That's it. There's 2 characters. There's a life bar. It's easy to read. It's not that hard. Like, there's certain esports out there like Overwatch or Counter-Strike. You have so many cameras you need to watch. With fighting games, it's one screen. It's 1v1. And that's all. It's who's the better player right then and there. It's not the strategies that go into it and everything. And it's once you get into it and once you start playing, you start realizing a lot of things. Like, to give you an idea, is our office, we just got a Street Fighter 2 cabinet, and that luckily it's free to play, because if not, all our paychecks would go into there. We have been putting in the hours on that, and people are getting so involved because, it's a game that everyone remembers from their childhood. You remember seeing Street Fighter, you remember seeing Mortal Kombat, and it's an easy entry because it's like, oh yeah, this is the newer version of that. Cool. Looks awesome. So you just give it a try. And, especially now with Dragon Ball Fighters, the IP that it is has such a huge audience. And right now it has the biggest numbers signed into EVO, which is the fighting game tournament of the year. and Dragon Ball FighterZ is leading the pack. Yeah, it's insane. It kicked everybody's tail at CEO this past weekend as far as entries go. And a fighting game is like really sprouting when the internationals start coming in, which is why we saw Kazunoko, Fenrich, and Goichi, like they're so good in this game, and it just keeps growing and growing and growing, which fighting games is a really exciting time to be a part of.
Nice. Well, hey, Shayan, the last question we got here is where can people find you and your work, and do you have any special shout outs?
Cool. So you guys can find me at A Super Shy Guy on Twitter. Make sure to follow BC Fighting at BC Fighting on Twitter and on Mixer as well. As you mentioned, the tournament will be on later today on Mixer, so stay tuned for that because that's going to be awesome. Of course, it's going to be after the show because you're going to want to watch the rest of this awesome show.
Yeah.
Hey.
Aw, Shayan, you're the best. BC Fighting. Let's see, it's BC Body Count Fighting. Body Count Fighting.
Count Fighting.
Love it, love it. Well, Shayan, thank you so much for being here, and we'll have you on again to talk a little bit more FGC.
Oh yeah, I'm super excited, and like I said, I was watching earlier and seeing all the stuff that you guys are reporting on. It's a great show. I'm excited to be a part. Thank you for having me today, and I would love to come back.
Sounds great. Thanks again, Shayan.
Thank you.
BC Fighting. Have a good day. Okay.